I went ahead and hit start, get started here. Oh, this is backwards. Okay. Okay, I figured I'd go ahead and get started. So I got some things to talk about. Let me know if you can hear me. Hit a 1 if you can hear me. If I'm coming in loud and clear, let me know. I'm going to give people a minute to get in here. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. I'm going to give people a chance to get in here for a minute. I got few things to talk about. I didn't pick a missing person this week. So I have not picked a missing person case this week. I thought I would discuss a couple of things, show my new cards. Hi, Grammy H. Hello. We're going to be looking at cards, a couple new decks that I've got, and I'm going to be discussing some crystals and what they're good for. And then take questions if you guys have questions. I know I started a few minutes early, so I'm a little bit early. And I'm waiting on my coffee. How's everybody doing on this fine Wednesday? I know there's other people live. And I know some people have said they haven't been getting notified, so I'm giving everybody an opportunity to get in here. I don't need that right now. So we're going to be talking, let's see. I got a nice agenda here. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be looking at my cards, and I'm going to be going over some crystals and how they can help you, what they're used for. Hey, Joshua. How are you tonight? Actually, I've got some information on a lot of crystals, so I'm going to go over that. I've got my tarot deck. I'm going to show 2 of them. Waiting on a few more people to get in here. And I'm waiting on my cup of coffee to get finished. No rush, Mr. Hart. I know you put it on. It has to cook. The coffee. So Let's see. Looks like I got 4 people in here. The first thing I'd like to ask is for praying hands and hearts for my grandson. They have put him back on chemo. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you so much. Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, I won't disappoint you with this show tonight because I've got some education, a little bit of education on some crystals, not all crystals, at least on some of the ones I've got. Like I said, the first thing I would like is for the praying hands and hearts for my grandson. They did start him on back up on chemo. It is a lighter dose. They are keeping the dosage down. And they do have him on medication to prevent any more liver damage. So we're praying for my grandson. Next thing I want to talk about before I go into the cards and the crystals. Joshua, if you have a channel, let Lester put your link in, please. By all means, I believe in promoting channels. I believe in helping those that come in and are nice to me. Because I have other channels that do the same for me. And I like to reciprocate. Now you can turn it off because it's going to make that camera too hot. Thank you. One thing I wanted to address is I'm not going to name the creator. I'm not going to mention this creator's name. But I'd say about 6 months ago. Before I go any further, let me back up. Before I even got started in the YouTube, before I even dreamed of creating a channel, I used to watch YouTube all the time because we don't own a television. Haven't had a television in 5-6 years. So my thing was, if I wanted to watch something, I'd watch YouTube. And one of the shows that I watched was the Steve Wilkos show. Because he has the best polygraph examiner in the United States. Or at least he's in the top 10. So I'd say about 6 months ago, on one of my missing cases, in a Facebook group, people were talking about lie detector tests and how much they cost. I said, if you go on the Steve Wilkos show, it doesn't cost you anything. Only thing it costs you is your time. Well, go further. Come fast forward. What was it? 2 weeks ago, I talked about Serenity Denard. And I said if they wanted to clear things up, lie detector tests would not cost them anything. Call the Steve Wilkos show. Yes, Steve Wilkos is still on. Thank you, Mr. Hurt. Steve Wilkos show is still on. He still does lie detector tests. So it was about 2 weeks ago. I believe it was 2 weeks ago when I believe that's when I did Serenity's case. And I mentioned Steve Wilkos. In many Facebook groups on the Summer Walls case, I've said it numerous of times. Steve Wilkos, Steve Wilkos. Come on, you can't get any better than Steve Wilkos. You get a free polygraph exam, a free trip to Connecticut. All it takes is your time to go there. I noticed another creator all of a sudden is on the Steve Wilkos band. You know, I believe in giving people credit. Like when I talk about Steve Wilkos, Mr. Hart's going to drop Steve Wilkos' link in the chat. Do you think this other creator gave me credit for coming up with the Steve Wilkos idea in this summer case, along with 2 other cases? No. If you're going to use somebody's idea, give that person credit. Drop their link in your chat. Doesn't cost you anything. So now I'm going to get off my soapbox. Going to get off my soapbox now. So the first thing I'm going to do is introduce you to my new deck of cards. The Akashic Tarot. Let me turn my light so that it's not blinding you guys so much. Hopefully that's not blinding you too much. Let me get my cup of coffee out of the way. The Akashic Tarot. Now, what does Akashic mean? We have the Akashic records. It means the Akashic records is the history of us on a soul level. So I'm going to have to add these to my description. These came, if you want to order these. AMZ! I know everybody's been saying that lately. I don't know what's going on with the notifications. So, of course, you get a huge book on the Akashic Tarot. These cards are quite uniquely different. This is what they look like. Oh, let me make sure you can see them. This is what they look like on the back. On the front, they are very different. The first card, which is major arcana card, is the Oracle of Delphi. You have the Akashic Library. I mean, they're all different. There's Archangel Raphael, the Ark of the Covenant. I'm just giving you an example of what's in this deck. Initiation and the Count Saint Germain. Caught in the Ruins. Look out. These are, I'm still in the major arcana cards. Up in the Air. Uriel and the Sphinx. So now we get into the minor arcana. The minor arcana in this deck does not say cups, swords, pentacles, or wands. We've got scrolls, we've got roses, we've got forces, and we've got keys. So this is quite a unique deck. It's going to take me a bit. I need to sleep with them, and I need to work with them some before I even begin to start to use them. But I think that we got to figure out, and I need you guys, I need y'all's input on. Thank you, Lee. Thank you so much. I'd like you all to give me some input where you'd like me to use these cards. The other deck, Dreams of Gaia, which I think is an absolutely beautiful deck. The Akashic Deck contains, does it even tell me how many cards? Let's see here. 62 card deck. The Akashic Deck is a 62 card deck. The Dreams of Gaia is an 81 card deck. The Dreams of Gaia is also quite different, but not in the same way that the Akashic is. This too comes, every tarot deck comes with a book. This is the back of the cards. And then I've been using these. I've been using them on myself, but this is what, as you can see, they have symbols. And each symbol is different. So you see there's an upward triangle. They're all, I'm trying to find, and each triangle is one is, the triangles represents the elements, earth, air, wind, and fire. And I don't see any of the, there you go. There's one of the major Arcana cards. It's quite different. Self. This major Arcana deck, this deck here, the major Arcana also does not start out with the full card. You know, the traditional tarot deck starts out with the full as being card 0. But the Dreams of Gaia and the Akashic Deck, they do not have the full card. They do not start out that way. So I'm going to learn these cards. The Dreams of Gaia, Joshua, I got this deck. I got this deck from my local metaphysical shop, which is in the description below this video, along with a phone number. She will ship. She's willing to ship products. And the name of the store is Twinkle Twinkle Little Store. It is in the description underneath of the video, along with the phone number. Did you drop Steve Wilco's link? Hey, did you drop Steve Wilco's link?
Yeah, I'll go find it and I'll get it dropped.
Okay, you might as well look up Sloan too, because I'm going to be mentioning her too. You could always drop it from my iPad.
I'm on the channel.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. So, who wants to talk crystals? Let's talk crystals. Let's talk. Oh, before we talk crystals, there is one other thing I wanted to say. If you put a comment up and you don't see it in the chat, I want to make you aware that there are words that are not allowed on YouTube. Joshua, don't feel bad. I've got 3 boxes of them. I mean, you can't see. I can't even get it in. I got 3 huge boxes of tarot cards, so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Yeah. Tarot cards and crystals. Yes, I've got 3 big boxes of them. And I've narrowed it down right now. You see what I use. But I want to add the Akashic Tarot and the Dreams of Gaia in somewhere. And I don't know, I'm not sure where I should add it in at. So if you put a word in a comment that's unacceptable for YouTube, your comment may not show. It gets held. Just so you're aware of that. There's the link for Steve Wilkos. I don't think you guys need the link, but I have to put it in there because I did mention his name. Yeah, I should have labeled my crystals, Joshua, because I've got a lot of crystals that I can't remember the names of. I mean, I have some sitting on my table, my kitchen table next to where I sit. And I'm looking at it and I'm staring at it blankly going, what is the name of this crystal? And then it came to me last night. So let's talk a little bit about crystals. Of course, we have the selenite. Selenite, what selenite is good for is not only cleansing your other crystals, and you can get slabs of selenite. You can get it in a slab. If you're like me and you don't get up before the sun comes up, you can't put your crystals in the windowsill under the moonlight if you don't get up before daylight. So,
don't get it wet.
Yes, do not get selenite wet. It will dissolve. Selenite is a charger and it is a cleanser.
It is water soluble.
I believe any crystal that ends in ITE will dissolve in water, from what I've been told, from what I understand. All right, let's talk a little bit about some more crystals here. So the next one, I was hoping my friend would be in here because there it is. Let me send her a text to let her know I'm live. Well, let me make sure she's not live. No, she's not. Other people are. Oh, we've got our buddy is live. All right, let's move on with the crystals here. Now, let's see, where do I want to start? This guy right here, black tourmaline, it's the same as this crystal here, black tourmaline. It protects you. It's anything black, any black crystal is for protection. But this also protects from psychic attacks. This protects from psychic attacks. Let's see. Let me mark that one off so I don't repeat myself. The next one. Oh, if you have issues with your thyroid, I don't have any crystals in front of me that are blue, but it's come to my attention. Anything blue, any blue crystal, any blue crystal is good for your thyroid. And another one I don't have in front of me, but I'm sure I have, is garnet. Garnet helps open up, if you are aware of the chakra system, garnet helps open up from the root chakra up to the heart chakra. So if you carry a palm stone sized garnet, or you sleep with it at wherever you consider your root chakra to begin. Some people think it's the feet, other people think it's in your personal space between your legs. So it all depends on the person, where you think your root chakra is. Another crystal I don't have in front of me, I know I have some here. It's also black. It's called Shungite. What are you talking about, Reborn? Interesting comment. Would you like to elaborate? I'll give you a chance. What, do you think women should stay stupid? What's wrong with an educated woman? What do you got to say, Reborn? I'm waiting. Yeah, evidently, Renee, that's what Reborn expects women to be, barefoot and pregnant. What do you got to say for yourself, Reborn? I'm not gonna have my mods escort you out. At least not just yet. All right, what's the difference between wisdom and understanding versus education and knowledge? Reborn is one of those distractors. You know, have you ever watched any of the other channels where the creators talking about content and they got to come in and interrupt, or at least try to interrupt, Reborn, do yourself a favor. That's your opinion, Reborn. That's not everybody else's. Yes, please kindly see yourself out the door, Reborn, before I have my mods escort you out.
Too late.
Well, back to business. Now, I was discussing Shungite. Reborn thought he distracted me from, or she thought they were distracting me, but I know right where I left off. Exactly. What rock did Reborn crawl out from under? So, I get it, Leslie. I get it. And welcome to Mystical Heart Tarot readings. So the next crystal I was going to discuss is Shungite. Now, you can use Shungite in your water. If you live in the city, and you know the city puts all kind of chemicals in the water, and who knows whether they really filter the water as well as they claim they do. You can put Shungite in your water to clear it, to cleanse it. Also, Shungite stops radiation. It also stops EMFs. So you're going to want to put Shungite near your phone. Shungite is good near your phone. And the next crystal we're going to talk about is Malachite. Y'all remember Malachite, right? You all remember the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell case, where Lori Vallow ordered wedding rings off of, I can't remember, I think it was Amazon or eBay or something, and they were made of malachite. Here is a piece of malachite. Hey, just roll with it. How are you tonight? I'm doing a little lesson on crystals. Hi, Sandra. Malachite is used to balance things out in your life. That's what malachite is used for. That's what it's useful for. Let's see here. We did Shungite and malachite. All right. Everybody was curious. Thank you. Just roll with it. Everybody asked about my turquoise ring. Sorry, I got to put my notes up here because I had to take notes. This turquoise it elevates your psychic abilities. Turquoise elevates psychic abilities. Of course, Moldavite does the same thing. Trying to get it up there so you can see it. That's what Moldavite looks like. Amethyst I didn't take very good notes. Elevated crystal energy. So this elevates other crystals as well, but it elevates your energy. I have a piece of smoky quartz. Smoky quartz also keeps away psychic attacks. Now I have this one. This is called rhodonite. This is more for your love intentions. This one is more related for love. It's not as much of a protector. Let's see here. Now, I have this one. I don't know what it's good for. I haven't looked it up. This is actually moonstone. I have been told to be careful with moonstone. So I'd have to look up what it's good for. This one is emerald. I think it's an emerald quartz is what it is because it's got like, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see them in the little shiny things. Probably one of my more favorite crystals is the labradorite. And I don't know if I might need to turn the light down. Oh no. Let me see if I can get me. You can see the colors better when the light's on it. And there's the beautiful, beautiful blue. This is called labradorite. It should shine like that on this side, but it's not doesn't shine as well. It is. It's a palm stone. I've got two of these. I like this crystal so well because of that. The way it turns blue, right? Let me get it at the right angle that I like it. It's not going to cooperate with me. There it is, right there. I liked this crystal because of that reason right there. That I bought two of them. Actually, technically, I bought three. I have three of them. And labradorite also helps psychic abilities. That's just the way it's designed, Renee. That's just the way that this crystal is designed. And you can see it depends on which way you turn it or hold it. You can see that blue, that beautiful blue color in it. And that's what attracted me to this crystal. This crystal helps with psychic abilities. So I have the turquoise, I have the moldavite, and I have the labradorite that helps me with my psychic abilities. And I was hoping by now, thank you, just roll with it. I was hoping by now my buddy would be in here, but I don't see her in here. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. The last crystal I have to talk about is, of course, this. This is a piece, this is a raw piece of black obsidian. It's raw. As you can see, it's a raw piece. This is a polished piece. These are both the same crystal. One is raw and one is not. And what I got the most description on the black obsidian. It's volcanic glass. It clears blockages in your life. It removes negativity, like all black crystals do. But most importantly, this crystal right here, if you have a stalker, this is the crystal you need. It gets rid of stalkers. Now, all the information, let me give the credit where the credit is due, is from Sloan Bella. She was on last night. She was discussing crystals. I took notes. And that is my malachite. I do have a crap ton of other crystals, but I don't have them out. No, Joshua, I got something else I can throw at people instead of my crystals. My crystals cost too much. I have something else I can throw at them that's cheaper. But I can't say what it is. Because you know it's YouTube. So what would you guys like to talk about? Give me some ideas on where you would like to see me use the other tarot decks at. Because I do daily readings. I do I'm reading comments in case you're wondering. I do daily readings. I do missing person readings. I do the readings for you guys on Saturday. And then I do the astrology readings. So I do 4 different types of readings. And I do use 3 types of cards because I use the ethereal visions that I use on you guys for my astrology readings. So give me an idea where you'd like me to use the Akashic Tarot and the Dreams of Gaia. Switch it up somewhere. Oh, okay, Renee. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out where I can put them in at. They do. That's awesome, Joshua. Just be careful. Just be careful. Let me give you a suggestion. When you're trying to contact somebody with their dowsing rods, make sure you say their full name when you're asking for somebody. That's very cool that you're trying that. And you can see dowsing rods are to me are I like dowsing rods better than I do pendulums. Like I've said before, to me the pendulum, if you're holding it, it's not on the stand. If you're literally holding the pendulum, if you have a subconscious opinion on something that you're asking about, your subconscious is going to travel through your body whether you know it or not. That's how they do the lie detector test. It's from your memories. And that's why I like the dowsing rods, because I'm not touching any part of the rod itself. That is up to spirit. Oh, wow. Like I said, Joshua, just be careful, protect yourself, and make sure that you ask when you're asking for somebody to come to you and speak to you through the rods. Make sure you ask for the first and last name, because you might ask for somebody named Joe and you never know who's going to show up. It could be somebody that you're not asking for. So I learned that since using the dowsing rods. Be sure to ask for first and last name, even if it is a family member, because, commonality in names. And you want to make sure you're getting the right person. Yes, Sandra, they've been, in the past, that's what they used to find water. I have pendulums, Renee, but I have a stand that I put them on, and I have not had any success with the pendulums. So I just don't, they just stay put up. I leave them up because I just haven't. And I've got to get my spirit box out and work with it more. I'll probably work with it more in the summer when we're busier and Mr. Hart's not in here, because I have to put it on a speaker. Well, I have a speaker that I put it on, and then I record the session, and I don't want to interrupt him, because if you ever heard a spirit box, they're loud. So what's everybody think about Jacqueline and Trezell being arrested? I say it's about time they do something. They have to have evidence to charge them with second-degree murder. Awesome, Joshua. You know you can use salt as well. I just hope that, well, I guess we'll find out. They're going to, looks like Jacqueline and Trezell's going to get a speedy trial. That's the problem with these cases. Just roll with it. They do take a while. And that's what people don't understand. Exactly, Joshua. Before Mr. Hart moved this desk to this side of the RV, this has been, what, probably a month ago?
Yeah.
When I was over on that side.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting here, and it was on a Saturday night. I was doing readings, and I kept seeing something dark going up towards my cabinet. So I ended up having the sage that night. Just roll with it. Are they going to allow the cameras in the courtroom? Because I know, oh God, if I mention his name, I'm going to have to drop his link. I know the one YouTuber that's been following this case since day one, that's been out there even searching, was going to put in a request to be in the courthouse, in the courtroom. Well, one thing I can say, God, I got to be careful. I'm about to drop another YouTuber's name. I'll make it easy for you. Yo cranky, funny female judge on YouTube. The one thing that she did say,
Judge Judy?
was that every court case, every courtroom should have a camera in it. And I feel like that should happen so that everybody can see that it is, that the trial's going along as it should be. Even in high profile cases, they should still allow. We've got somebody here that wants to say hello, so let me see if I can get this done without making a mess. Because she wants to sit in my lap. Here. Say hi to everybody.
Get your poop.
For those of you not familiar, that's my Gidget. That's my little Gidget. I'm surprised. I am totally surprised that Trezell's mother didn't get arrested. I really am. She is camera shy, but she wanted in my lap. So I figured if you're going to climb on my lap, you're going to go in front of the camera. I know, I know. I should go in front of the camera too. Well, if anybody wants to know what I look like in real life, I am on panel. I am on panel in some other people's channels. It's not like I'm hiding. It's just I don't show myself on my channel because I want you to see that I am authentic when it comes to tarot reading. Well, the first thing when I go and I'm buying crystals, the first thing I do when I walk, I have a shop here now. So when I walk in the shop, if my intention is to buy crystals, but I don't have any particular crystal in mind, I walk in and I look at them and I see which one I feel drawn to. And over the years, I used to buy the smaller ones like this, the small ones like this. I used to buy those. And I put them up and I forget the names of them. I've got some laying over there on my side of the table right now that I don't remember the names of them. So what I do is I go in and I look at the crystals and I see what I'm drawn to. I'll give you a perfect example. This piece of malachite. I seen it, but I didn't buy it right away. I probably waited a day or two, and all I could think about was this crystal and how bad I wanted it. Have no idea why. So I went back to the crystal shop, and thank God it was still there, and I bought it. Once I buy them, I bring them home, I cleanse them. I use sage. I put them in, you know how I like my sage, and I run things through the smoke coming off of the sage. It's called smudging. And then I put them on the selenite slab. Not my heart. I've got a slab over on my kitchen table that I set my crystals on. You can get slabs different sizes. I have a block that's about this big. And then I have a long one that's about this long that actually has the chakras imprinted on the top of it. And I've got crystals sitting on it as well. No. No. I like your idea, Sandra, but no.
Grab Renee's question.
I did. I just finished answering it.
Oh. I got my book planned.
Obviously. Renee, did I answer your question? Do you have other questions to go with it? He's actually not even paying attention. Just roll with it. You have to be careful on the crystal. Okay, we have a bot. You have to be careful with the crystals because some of them will dissolve. This selenite right here, the malachite, they will dissolve. And I promise you, this crystal here, you don't want it to dissolve because it is poisonous. This crystal literally is poisonous. if it were to dissolve. Actually, Renee, no, I haven't. Surprisingly enough, I have not. I know I've been told by many people, especially the moldavite, will vibrate. This, by the way, is another piece of amethyst. I have been told that the moldavite itself does vibrate when you hold it, but for whatever reason, I don't feel the vibrations in them. And I don't know if it's just me or what it is. I have clear quartz. I didn't bring it over with me from the table. I have a piece of clear quartz. So I noticed that yes, that's what this is what this type of crystal is what Lori bought as a wedding ring with Chad. Yes. If this gets wet, it will dissolve, and it is poisonous. I've noticed that people are really, really, really grasping at straws in Summerwell's case. Really grasping at straws. To the point where they're putting it out there that, and I'm not even going to mention the person's name, the creator, because this creator isn't worth my time, but the blatantly put out that when Don was married to his first wife, Pamela was fostering Candace. I mean, seriously? Come on now. Of course, everything that this creator put out was debunked. Totally debunked. People are putting out crap. I don't. No, that's not how I want to go down. That's not how I want people to see me. But any suggestions? Yeah, that's another thing you can do is put them underground as well. Your crystals, that is. Now I forget where I was going with that. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was trying to get the name of the shop that Sloan gets her crystals from, but I only got part of it, so I wanted to compare prices. Price comparison, in these day and ages. What about the price of gas? Do we want to talk about the price of gas? I mean, I haven't been out in a few days, but I hear it's still going up in Yeah, so they're coming up with so much crap, Joshua. It's not even funny. I mean, I stopped doing anything on summer when I ran out of questions. I mean, there's only so many questions I can ask. Yeah, just roll with it. It's like they're making stories up for views. I mean, I seen one channel was doing a recap of the whole story. I'm like, why? What is the purpose? Yeah, some new details came out. Especially since the grandmother spoke out and created a different narrative. The only question I really have is, are they working off of a script? Oh my God, $5.12 a gallon?
It's $4.75 across the street.
No, he's talking about heating fuel.
Yeah. Kerosene is $4.75 a gallon.
Oh, Mr. Hart said it's $4.75 a gallon here.
Gasoline is $4.80.
Well, here we have, in our RV, we have 3 little space heaters that right now is maintaining pretty decently. Let us look and see what the temperature is. There you go. There's our temperature.
2 and snowing. Well, 3.
That's the current temperature where I live at. 60% chance of light snow.
It ain't stopped snowing all day.
It hasn't stopped snowing all day. I guess I could talk about my fun time last night. Just roll with it. Tell me which one of the politicians isn't. I mean, let me say this before I go any further. When I was a small child, I was taken to Bluefield, West Virginia to meet my adopted grandparents. And the one thing that I learned from my adopted grandmother was there's 3 things you don't talk about: politics, religion, and unions. Those are the three things you don't talk about. Why? Because ultimately you will end up in an argument with somebody. Yeah, Lee, it's 3 degrees here. Well, Mr. Hart, we did go and buy a propane heater, so if we're cooking, we have to turn one of the space heaters off because it just overloads our breaker system. So we use the propane heater while he's cooking. And believe me, the propane heater, heat rises to the top. Another bot. Heat rises to the top. I had a thermometer up as high as I could put it up. I had it off, up in the air to see how hot it was or how warm it was up towards the ceiling. The ceiling was at 110 degrees. Where we were sitting at was just comfortable. So I guess we need to put some ceiling fans in this RV. Oh no, Joshua, that's terrible. That's a lot of money for fuel. I mean, to heat your house. That's a lot of money. There's a bot. Hey, there's a bot. So that's kind of why I don't discuss religion, I don't discuss politics, and I have no reason to discuss unions. So, does anybody else feel like Summer's case is scripted? Or is it just me? I mean, Candace did use the word scripted, but I've been thinking that before she even said that. Because it was like they don't never change their story. It's gone. Renee Lester got it. Yeah, how long will that oil last you, Joshua? Oh, you live in New England. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too, Joshua. So you live up in New England, up there in the area where Steve Wilkos is. He's in, well, he films in Connecticut. I don't know if he lives there or not. Yeah, I think this is a whole story. It's just, how does it end? Hi, Nikki. I have discussed Rose Bly. I have discussed Rose Bly. As a matter of fact, if you look at my last reading I did on Summer Wells, when Dawn got locked up, my reading said that Dawn would be the one to talk and he would give up the location of Rose. It's in my last reading. Now that he's locked up, what's going to happen? It's in my last reading. Welcome, Nikki. Welcome to Mystical Heart Tarot readings, where we're having coffee. We're just talking about different things on Wednesday night. Saturday night, I do readings for everybody. So if you want a card reading, there's a video out. You can sign up. And my live for that is on Saturday. I agree, Joshua. I totally agree with you on that. But you know, it seems like every case I've looked at has been the same problem, where local law enforcement is not doing their job. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, at least in this case, at least with Summer's case, we have TBI and we have the FBI involved. But we've got other cases that I've done readings on that the only ones involved in the case are the local law enforcement, and they're all Barney Fifes. At least that's the appearance that they give. Sorry. I mean, I back the blue, but come on now. If you can't do your job, if don't have the capability of handling a missing person, call in somebody else. I wonder the same thing, Renee. I really wonder the same thing. I'm pretty sure that the oldest one is, well, if he hasn't spoken already, I'm pretty sure he will. But it's going to take a well-trained therapist to get that information out of him. Because the children are not going to speak to a stranger. They're going to have to learn to trust the therapist before they open up, especially the oldest one. I'm sure they were, Sarah, but if they were told that they were never going to return to those people, and we know they're not. I mean, give me a break. If child services returns those boys back at this moment in time to Candace, my only question is, have they lost their mind? Thank you, just roll with it. And that comes back to the situation that I was talking about, like with Serenity Denard, not to be confused with Serenity McKinney. Serenity Denard is still missing. They never called in anybody, any outside sources, to help with the investigation. No, they're not even trying. I'm willing to bet we're going to hear something on Summer's case. You got to keep in mind, look how long it took for us to get an indictment on Jacqueline and Trezell West. That was 14 months. So right now, we're not quite 9 months into Summer being missing. So I really think that law enforcement, I don't foresee, honestly, this is my opinion and only my opinion. I don't foresee law enforcement being negligent in this case. Why? Because the spotlight is on them. Hawkins County, TBI, and FBI have a huge, gigantic, ginormous spotlight on them. They're not going to fumble this case. I agree, Joshua, and I'm wondering, I don't know what, if her mother had substance abuse problems when she was pregnant or not. I don't know if she's fetal alcohol syndrome or not, or if she had Bell's palsy, which to me, if she has some sort of medical condition, this brings us right back to the lie detector test. Think about this. If you don't believe me, watch a couple go on your search bar here in YouTube and search Dan Ribakoff, Ribacoff, and listen to what he says. If a person has a medical condition, there's a chance that they are not testable with a polygraph test. If they have used substances within, I think it's 2 weeks prior to the test, they are still considered untestable. I do not believe for one hot second either one of them took a test. If they did, they didn't pass. It was inconclusive at best. Yes, she does have developmental delays. You're right. And for that reason itself, I'd almost bet she's untestable on a polygraph exam. I'll have to do some research on it to see what medical conditions exclude people from being polygraph examined, but I'd almost bet that's one of them. Because I have not yet heard law enforcement say, yes, they took a polygraph exam. Yes, they passed it. That's never come out of law enforcement's mouth to my knowledge. And as far as I know, even if they did test them, I highly doubt they told them the results. That's true, Leah. That what we're seeing medically, or with her eye that kind of droops a little bit. That could be from her, from DV. That could be from DV. Nothing wrong with having breakfast for supper. We do it here all the time. That actually sounds pretty good. I haven't had pancakes in a while. If I want pancakes, I'll just call across the street and we got a diner across the street. Yeah. And using anything, any substance would make her untestable. So whoever put it out there, and I think it was Dawn, that they took the lie detector test. I'm waving the red flag on that one. It probably does, Renee. It probably does. Thought there was something else I was going to talk about. Let me look real quick. That she does, Sandra. That she does. Now let me go look here. So the information that I brought to you about the crystals was courtesy of Sloan Bella, which Mr. Hart did put her link in the chat, I believe. Hey, Evelyn. Yeah, it's not legal where I live at. I agree, Joshua. And you know, another person that does the same thing, another person that does the same thing is Ernie. He's doing the same thing. And they're both on YouTube. Yeah, some states it's legal. I know I can only speak for Florida, which is not where I'm at, but I have lived in Florida. And I know if you want the medical card, you have to sign away your Second Amendment right. I'm sorry. I'm not signing any rights away. The government has taken enough away from me. I am not signing that right away. If I want to use that substance, I will move to a state where it's legal. Sorry, Mr. Hart had to let his puppy go out. They're not even trying here, Renee. Nikki, I'm too honest of a person. Seriously, I am. I'm too honest of a person. Yep. Well, here, Joshua, where I'm at, is open or conceal, either one, without a permit. No permit required in my state. You can open or conceal. Yep, same here. Same here, Joshua. Well, you know what they say. An armed society is a polite society. My horoscope sign, just roll with it. You want to know what my sign is? I am a Capricorn sun, a Virgo moon, and a Leo rising. Well, you know, Sandra, there is a county, and I can't remember the name of the county. Mr. Hart might refresh me, but I don't know. There is a county in Tennessee that is, whoa, he must be cold. He's turning up the heat. There is a dry county in Tennessee, and it's where the Jack Daniels factory is. Believe it or not. I don't know. I can't remember what county it is. It's a small county.
Lynchburg.
Lynchburg. You sure about that? Okay.
Jack
Virgo.
Daniels Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Virgo. Just roll with it. Virgo is the sign with the highest psychic abilities. It is a spiritual war, Evelyn. However, living where we reside, we have hobos coming off the trains. And they try to sleep inside the facility because we live where my husband works at. So we play security for this facility on top of other things. So, yes, we've had to run, well, not we. He has had to run many hobos out of here because they will go inside, they will start up a fire, and next thing you know, that building's going to burn down, and we can't afford to have that. if you don't know what, if you're not familiar with your birth chart, if you want to know what your moon sign is and your rising sign, well, first off, you have to know your exact time of birth in order to get your appropriate rising sign. If you do not know your exact time of birth, you can still do a birth chart. You just won't know what your rising sign is. And the best free birth chart calculator is Astro Cafe. Well, Evelyn, we don't run this facility. We only work here. And our instructions are, and it's a little complicated. The facility itself is, the property is owned by the railroad. The structure is owned by the state. And it is private property. Therefore, anybody that comes off of a train that is homeless and comes on this property is considered trespassing. I don't make the rules. I just have to follow them. Yeah, it is a spiritual war. However, the others don't fight fair. I have my Second Amendment right, and it's there to protect me. That's why I have it. If you've never had a weapon pulled on you before, you wouldn't understand then. As a teenager, I had a weapon pulled on me when I was at work. I understand, Evelyn. I understand. It's just that you come from a different culture than those of us that are here in the United States. I'm just letting you know, though, that as a teenager, when I was working, I had a weapon pulled on me. And I had no way to defend myself. Thankfully, he took what he wanted and left the store and left me alone. But it could have turned out worse. Well, I should say restaurant. It wasn't a store, it was a restaurant. And I was the only one there. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Evelyn. I had no idea. I had no idea that Russia did that. But see, now you're talking about things that are out of our control. Things like that is out of our control and has nothing to do with our Second Amendment rights that we have here in the United States. Renee, I know you want to put that up. Go ahead. I'm reading your mind. Some good like that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and discuss I don't want to sit here and discuss politics and Second Amendment rights. That's not what my channel's about. What can we do? And I see another problem across this country. So, what can we do as a country to fix the problem with children's services? It's called different things depending on what state you live in. If you live in Florida, it's DCF, Department of Children and Families. The people that were supposed to go out and visit Summer and her brothers and the family. I agree. They're not paid enough. Renee, I know what you want to say. Come on now. You know I read your mind all the time. You can go ahead and put it in there. I know. Let's go. You know you want to put that in there. Betty, there you are. I tried to hold out on the crystals because there's some that's important I think you need to see. Betty, if you know how to get a hold of Stingray, let Stingray know to come in too. I know you have, Betty, I know you have issues that this crystal right here, this is a raw crystal. This is a raw obsidian.
Betty's in YouTube jail.
What? Are you kidding me? What happened? You need more than one. You need more than one, Betty. Hi, Rebecca. Betty, you need to surround yourself with obsidian. Trust me.
Welcome to YouTube jail. You're in good company.
You need, trust me, Betty, you need a lot of that. Well, I don't want to. Yes, you did, Rebecca. I am live. I'll be live again Saturday night. Make sure you get on the list. There is a video out for readings for Saturday night. That's very true, Betty. You need chocolate. I'm going to show Betty this deck real quick because she wanted to see it and she didn't get a notification. I started to send you a text message to let you know I was live. Here's the back of them. This is the Akashic Deck. Scrolls, roses, forces, and keys. So I've got a lot of learning to do and a lot of reading to get to know this deck. But the Akashic records, which is what the Akashic Tarot is based off of, is the history, your history, on a soul level. Let me show you the other deck real quick. I'll make it quick because I showed it early on, but I'll show it again. This one is called Dreams of Gaia. And yeah, it comes with a thick book. And that's the back side. Now you see, it, instead of saying cups, pentacles, swords, or wands, it's got these triangles. And I don't remember the triangles. There's one that triangle's upright. That's a different suit. There's one with the line through it. So that's 3 different suits right there. And there's one, there's the 4th suit. So you see the line, it's the triangles facing down with the line through it, triangle facing up with the line through it, plain triangle facing up, plain triangle facing down, your 4 suits. This deck contains, what did I say? 81 cards. There's 81 cards in this deck. The Akashic Deck has, I think it's, what did I say? 62. So these 2 decks, neither one of them are traditional like the others. Can you turn this off, please? Or move it your way some, because I'm burning up over here.
Any other time you'd be cold.
So these cards don't have like the traditional, the full card as being the number 0 and so on. These have other cards in their place. So thank you, Evelyn. I was putting the cards away and I missed the conversation. Oh, yeah, you need to, I think you need a dump truck load of obsidian. Betty? Worst case scenario, you can throw it at him. But in all seriousness, black obsidian is for people that do have a problem and have a stalker. It also clears blockages in your life and removes negativity. I would too, just roll with it. Actually, I'd take well, I guess taking a dump truck load of moldavite wouldn't be such a good thing. I would probably go off the deep end if I had a truckload of moldavite. Yes, fill your house with it. Wow, Betty, you know how songs jump in my head. I just had one jump in my head. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sandra, it's an AC/DC song, Dirty Deeds. See, I was talking about my daughter-in-law earlier. That song came to my mind. Oh, yeah. Evelyn, is she still here? She should know that song real well. AC/DC's from Australia. Thank you, just roll with it. Renee, you know, Sloan did talk about that crystal last night, but I didn't write all the crystal information down. I wrote down the information that I knew I had the crystals at hand. So, her live from last night, she does go through some crystals. She does discuss some crystals and what they're good for. Which was what gave me the idea to bring that information to you guys. But if you want to see the full thing, go watch last night's Sloan Bella live, as long as it's still up, because sometimes she takes them down.
Sometimes YouTube does it for her.
No, sometimes she takes it down if she's talking about her soon-to-be ex-husband.
Oh, now she's having marital problems?
She's been having problems. He has the same problem as somebody else we know. Do I need to say more?
No.
I didn't think so. Don't you just love how he's a mind reader? The one I have is kind of silverish color, Renee. I wonder if we can make a connection tonight. Can we make a connection tonight? Let's see. I'm seeing if my grandmother's here. If she is, crossed her odds for yes. Thank you. Thank you. Return them to forward, please. Return them to forward position, please. Use my energy if you have to. Return to forward, please. Forward position. Thank you. Let me see if I can move in a little closer. I'm limited because I have this much room. Because where they end, that black tip you see there, is the top level of my desk. Let me see what I can do. Let's see what we can find out here. I need your help. Can you tell me if the Summer Wells case is scripted? Cross for yes, open for no. is the Summer Wells case, written like a script. Cross for yes, open for no. Okay, I'm going to assume that she's not familiar with the case enough to know whether it was scripted or not, because I did not get a response. What? So, anybody have any suggestions on where you'd like to see me use those cards? Such as in the daily readings? Sandra, what is your sister's name? I need your sister's name. I need her first and last name, because I have to ask my grandmother. Oh, that's not good, Betty. What's Cheryl's last name, Sandra? I'm sorry, I have to ask because I want to make sure that I'm asking about the right person. Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to get my little dog off my lap. All right. All right. First thing I want to do is see if my grandmother knows Cheryl. Let me get the name right. Okay. Do you know Cheryl Ellenbecker? Cross for yes, open for no. Do you know Cheryl Ellenbecker? Cross for yes, open for no. Okay, thank you. Oh, you even took it back for me. All righty. All right. Did Cheryl Ellenbecker harm herself? Open for yes, cross for no. Did Cheryl Ellenbecker harm herself? Open for yes, cross for no. Okay, my grandmother doesn't know. I'm going to try. Sandra, I'm going to try to connect to Cheryl. Sure. And now I've got cold goosebumps going up my legs. Cheryl Ellenbecker, if you are here, cross the rods for yes. Cross the rods for yes, Cheryl. Use my energy if you have to. Cheryl Ellenbecker. Are you here? Cross for yes. Use my energy if you need to. Okay. Return the rods back to forward position, please. Thank you. Cheryl Ellenbecker, please return the rods back to the forward position, please. Thank you.
Hush.
Cheryl Ellenbecker, did you harm yourself? Open for yes, cross for no. Cheryl Ellenbecker, did you harm yourself? Open for yes, cross for no. Use my energy if you need to. Thank you, Cheryl. Please return the rod to the forward position. Please return it to the forward position. Return the rod to the forward position, please. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Sandra, she did not. That's who made the goosebumps on my leg, Betty, was your mom. You're welcome, Sandra. You're very welcome. Betty, your mom is still here. I don't have to ask. I can feel her. She's got goosebumps on my legs. She's the one that caused the goosebumps on my legs. I thought at first it was Cheryl, but it wasn't. That's your mom, and she's still here. Yeah, she's still here. Was who poisoned, Betty? You mean Cheryl? Betty, are you asking me to ask Cheryl if she was poisoned? Okay, Betty. Phyllis Burks. Are you going to bed, Renee? Phyllis Burks. Cross the rods if you are here. If you are still here with me, please cross the rods. Phyllis Burks. Please cross the rods. You can use my energy. Thank you, Phyllis. Return the rod to the forward position. Return it to the forward position, please. A little bit more. Thank you, Phyllis. Phyllis Burks. Were you poisoned? Open for yes, cross for no. Were you poisoned by your husband? Thank you, Phyllis. Return to the forward position, please. Return the rods to the forward position. Please use my energy if you need to. Please return the rods to the forward position. A little bit more, please. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you so much for answering that question for me. It's actually for your daughter, Betty. Phyllis, I've got another question for you. Phyllis Burks, was you poisoned for money? Cross for yes, open for no. Cross for yes, open for no. Return the rods to the forward position, please. Please return the rods to the forward position. Phyllis, use my energy to return the rods to the forward position, please. A little bit more. Come on. You can do it. That's it. Keep going. Keep going. Forward position. Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Phyllis. There's your answer, Betty. Yes, it was for money. Ask her if it is, oh, if she's with you. All right, Phyllis. Phyllis Burks. Are you with your daughter Betty? Open for yes, cross for no. Okay, return to the forward position, please. Please return the rods to the forward position. Use my energy if you need to. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Forward position. You got one. Very good. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. You got your answers, Betty. And she's there with you. Ah! One second. Oh, I dropped something. No, we can't have that dropped.
Careful, I'll get your hair another candle.
Oh, everything's going everywhere.
What'd you do?
It's not what I... Oh, everything's going everywhere. Oh, that hurt. I got everything. Everything was going everywhere. You're welcome, Betty. Anytime. Well, I went to put the dowsing rods back where Mr. Hart had put them. And he had my bowl that I keep my sage in on the top shelf in the back corner. When I put the dowsing rods back up, I accidentally knocked the bowl off. And I was reaching to get the bowl, and as I was reaching to get the bowl, then the dowsing rods decided they wanted to fly off the I bet she is. I would be upset too, Betty. I would be upset too if I were her. That's totally understandable. Yeah, I'm okay. It's just that, us fluffy people, when we bend over, sometimes it hurts. Betty, remind me what your mother's name is again? Because when I come out of these, I forget names. Remind me what your mother's name is again, Betty. I know I got a terrible lag in my system here. Okay. All right. Phyllis Burks. Have you been bringing other spirits to visit Betty? Cross for yes, open for no. Have you been bringing other spirits to visit your daughter Betty? Cross for yes, open for no. Use my energy if you need it. Okay. Return the rods back to the forward position, please. You can do it. Come on. Just use my energy. You can bring them back. That's it. There you go. Bring them back. Bring them back. Bring them back. Phyllis, have you been bringing spirits to Betty for her to help them? Open for yes, cross for no. Have you been bringing spirits that need help to your daughter Betty? Open for yes, cross for no. Use my energy if you need to. Use my energy if you need it. Okay. Bring the rods back to the forward position, please. Bring them back. You can do it. Bring them back. Forward position, please. Forward position, please. Use my energy. There you go. Thank you, Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you. No, Betty, she hasn't. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to get much more out of her because she is running low on energy. Even when I allow her to use my energy, she's still running low on energy. But she's not the one bringing other spirits to you. That's somebody else. Yes, Betty, that's probably what it is. And she's still here with me. But I think she's telling me she's leaving to go back to you. Yeah. She just left here. I could feel it. I can feel it through my, I get goosebumps. You know, before I bought the Moldavite and started using the Moldavite to help me with my psychic abilities, I never had that happen. What's Adam's last name? Is Adam Randall here? Cross the rods for yes if you're here, Adam Randall. Cross the rods for yes if you are here, Adam Randall. He's not here, Betty. Adam's not here. I have to have a last name because I could say Adam and there could be 50 million Adams come to me. And I wouldn't know if I had the right one or not. That's why I asked for the last name. I want to make sure that I'm contacting the proper person. You're welcome, Betty. You're very welcome. I miss Stingray not being here tonight. Ow. I'm used to Stingray telling me I have. I miss hearing Stingray saying there's spirits talking and glowing in my crystal, my amethyst. I know Joshua, and a little background on Sloan. She's got 40 some years of working in astrology. She's been learning astrology. Last night she said since the age of 7 she's been interested in it. And she had gone to another astrologer that read Sloane's birth chart. Now, Sloane married an older man. Her first marriage didn't work out. She seen this older man in California and when she seen him, because she does have such deep psychic abilities, she knew that she was going to marry this man, that she was going to have children with him. Well, she went to this astrologer that did her birth chart. And the astrologer said, you are going to lose a child. How this astrologer was able to read that in the birth chart, I don't know. And I'm not sure that I want to know. And she thought maybe it was her stepson, because her stepson, I think, at that point had recently passed from a drug overdose. But it ended up being her youngest son. So, I mean, the birth chart can tell us so much, but it takes a long time to learn the aspects of a birth chart because there's a lot to it. Okay, Betty. I've got Joshua, I ordered a book. It should be here on the 15th. Tarot and astrology. So that'll be interesting to see what it says. Yeah, it's foreign to me too as well, Joshua. Trust me, it's foreign to me as well. I mean, I know very, very limited. I know, I don't remember when it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Sloan put out a video about the sun signs. Of course, Capricorn is the worker of the sun signs. I know Sagittarius, they're the ones that like to travel a lot. Virgo out of all the signs has the strongest psychic abilities. And that's all I remember from it. I don't even remember what she said about Leo, and my rising sign is Leo. That's awesome, Sandra. Which ones did she order? Okay. Remember, guys, if you want reading on Saturday, the video's out to sign up. Well, I'll tell you. There are certain things I swear is addictive. I was in my early 50s when I got my first tattoo. Technically, it was my first 2 tattoos because I got one on each arm on the same night. Those are addicting. And then crystals and tarot cards. I can't say what Mr. Hart's addiction is because I'm not allowed to say it on YouTube. So I'm looking forward. I just don't know what readings I'm going to use these cards on. Oh, yeah, I have that problem too, Sandra. Trust me. Oh, I haven't seen that one. I'm going to have to look that one up. I know, Joshua. I mean, you can't talk about the virus. You can't say the name of the virus. Not allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to talk about the items that is associated with the Second Amendment. I might even get in trouble for saying that. Yes, that's right, Joshua, it is. Now, I know that these people, I know there's other YouTubers out there that curse. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't curse. I just don't do it on YouTube. What I do in my private life does not get displayed on YouTube. That's a thought, Rebecca. That's right, Nikki. There is a place and time, and I feel like my YouTube channel is a place for peace. I don't want people coming. I don't want the drama in here. So if there's drama llamas out there and you're watching my channel, take it somewhere else. Like earlier, we had one. I don't do drama. Not on YouTube. I deal with enough of it in my private life. I don't need it on YouTube as well. And I won't allow it on my channel. Even though I agree, Joshua. I totally agree. But you know, there's been so many other YouTubers that have backstabbed bigger creators and created their own channels off of that creator's coattails. I'm not like that. That's not me. I'm not going to go to a bigger creator and then turn around and badmouth that person. I don't badmouth anybody. If I say anything about somebody, I don't even say the name. Yes, misery loves company. There sure is a lot of misery on YouTube. Oh, I know, Joshua. I tried to be, before I decided to start my channel, I looked at other tarot readers to figure out how I wanted to do my channel. And I've seen so many that you don't even see them shuffle the cards, much less pull the cards. And then you have the ones that won't read cards when they're in reverse. That's not me. If a card comes out reverse, it gets read reverse. If I drop cards, if they fly out of my hand when I'm shuffling, I don't care if it's half the deck. I'm going to read them. Why? Because there is a message in those cards. Spirit has a message in all those cards that Spirit wants me to know. It's one thing to accidentally drop cards. It's another thing when they just fly right on out when you're shuffling. Because especially the newer cards, you know, when you first get the cards, they're slippery. Well, maybe except for, I don't know. I don't remember the Threads of Fate being that slippery because they are a thicker card, but the shiny ones, they tend to be slippery. And, you know, sometimes you drop them. But if they're flying out on their own, of their own free will, they're going to get read. That's how I roll. I read cards that fly out, no matter how many it is, and I read reverse cards. That's as long as providing that deck has a reverse meaning. Now there are some decks out there that are not meant to be read reverse. And the only way you know that is to look at the book that comes with them. You look at the book and see, does it have an upright meaning and a reverse meaning? If it has a reverse meaning with it, in the what they tell you the meaning is, then you know those cards are meant to be read reverse. I have a deck. I want to say it's the Thoth deck, Aleister Crowley deck. Now, the book does not give reverse meanings. That tells me those cards are not meant to be read in reverse. I'm not saying you can't read them in reverse. I'm just saying they're not meant to be read in reverse. That's my way of seeing it, and that's my way of thinking about it. Doesn't make it right, but it doesn't make it wrong either. And for some reason, my chat is either stuck or nobody's commenting. Is chat stuck or is it just me? My chat's not moving. Oh, there it goes. Thank you, Sandra. I was beginning to think something was wrong. I was beginning to think my laptop was froze. Oh my God, you just made me hungry for homemade bread. I used to bake bread all the time when my children were little. Oh God, you're making me hungry for fresh bread. I feel like I'm talking to nobody though, because nobody's talking back to me. Oh, okay. You got a bread machine. I used to make it the old-fashioned way. I used to make so much bread I had to freeze it. But I'll tell you what, you take that bread, or I would make bread, loaves of bread. I would make huge rolls that would be about this big. And then I would make cinnamon rolls, real cinnamon rolls. But I would take the buns that I made and I'd cut them in half, and then I'd spread them with real butter, not butter flavored grease, but real butter. Pop them in the microwave for a couple of seconds to heat that up, bun up, and melt that butter. Oh man. And I never gained a pound. Why? I don't understand. Now I look at bread and I gain 50 pounds. Me too, Sandra. That's all I buy. Yeah, I like the smell of it too. Nothing smells better than fresh bread. Well, maybe laundry when you hang it out on a clothesline. How many remembers hanging clothes out on a clothesline to dry? Those always smelled so good, but I don't know if we can do it here. Nothing like the fresh smell of clean clothes coming off of the clothesline. Yeah. Not sure I could deal with that here where I live at, because the wind blows and it blows up dust. So I don't know if that's a good idea here where I live at. Oh yeah, I remember those days too. Oh, you live near a bread factory. Oh my God. I'd probably be over there going, can I please have a fresh hot loaf? Oh. I hope Betty's feeling better. If you're listening, Betty, I hope you're feeling better. Oh yeah, Joshua. When I was younger, under the age of 12, we went to this little church, and they had huge lilac bushes. Oh, those things smell so good. Yeah, memories. Don't even get me started with memories. Oh, I guess I could give you a little memory. See, I grew up in southwestern Pennsylvania. And the little town where I grew up in, they had a glass factory. they made wire glass. I don't know if you know what wire glass is. It's glass that has like chicken wire in it. And eventually it was called the Pennsylvania Wire Glass Company is what it was called. And they eventually shut down. Well, there was a lady, and I can't remember her name, that worked with glass. She was an artist that worked with glass. She would carve the glass. And she made a carving. What's it called? I can't remember. I can't even remember the name of the carving. It was huge. The carving, the glass was huge. The glass itself was like a light green shade. And her name is coming back to me. While I'm talking, let me see if I can bring it up. I'm trying to see if I can find her. I think she may have passed away, but I'm not sure of that either. I can't remember her name. Oh, let me see if this will bring it up. Well, that didn't bring it up either. I thought that was her name. I might be spelling it wrong. But she had made this very large glass design, and it was housed in a winery, I think it was, in Virginia. And I believe Mr. Trump purchased that winery. And what he did was, you know what? I think I'm spelling her name wrong. What he did was he donated. Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, I was spelling it wrong. He donated that piece of glass back to the little city, the little town I'm from. And yeah, she did pass away last year, September of 2021. Her name is Pascal, Pascal. So, 3.5, let me read this to you. $3.5 million glass sculpture in Dunbar, Pennsylvania is Clue to Donald. I'm opening it. Donald Trump's charitable donations. So the glass sculpture that Donald Trump donated to my hometown is worth $3.5 million. I'm looking to see if there's a picture of it, the sculpture. It's the sculpture is called the Seated Torso. It's 8 by 5 foot. It's 2,800 pounds of glass. Pascal was a French artist who visited my hometown in 1961. And it was donated by Donald J. Trump. That donation came with a framed letter and photo from Mr. Trump that is currently on the wall of the extension to the historical society that was built to house that sculpture in my hometown, which is, believe me, it's a very small town in southwestern Pennsylvania. Don't sneeze, you'll be right through it if you do. And that information came from I don't know the name of this site. dailykos.com. Is the site that this article is written on. And it was written by Karen Rubin. September the 13th, 2016. I haven't seen the sculpture. I haven't been back. I haven't been to my hometown since 2002, I believe, was the last time I was back home. Hi, Nan. Sandra, I can relate. I live next to a barn. It's not that I'm too lazy. I don't have the money. Because that's a long trip from where I'm at. And actually, we're in the year 2022, aren't we? Yeah. Let's do some math here. Well, I will be missing my high school graduation reunion, which would be my 50th. Good night, MZ. Yeah, there's no way I'm taking a plane. You couldn't put me on a plane. I mean, I'd have to fly into Pittsburgh and it's still another hour and a half drive away. No. minimal hour and a half drive from Pittsburgh to my hometown. No, thank you. So don't forget to sign up on the video for Saturday's readings. Well, Nikki, I went to my high school graduation reunion. My high school reunion is what I should be calling it. Let's see, that would have been 20 years ago. And it was, what? That was 6 years after I married Mr. Hart. Funny how people that never spoke to you when you were in school all of a sudden want to speak to you. Hey, Oh, you were the high school cheerleader. Oh, that's right. But you didn't know me until I married Mr. Hart. And now all of a sudden you want to know me. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that they didn't all grow up, trust me, because there's some that are in Facebook groups that don't recognize my name. They were the ones that liked to bully me when I was in school, so. And they, trust me, those bullies have not grown up at all. I see them in Facebook groups, but they don't recognize my name. And that's okay by me. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I know, Joshua, that's ridiculous. Sandra, I was an only child. I was raised as well, let me rephrase that. I was raised as an only child. Well, I was bullied in elementary school because my grandfather's sister, making her my great aunt, became the principal of the elementary school when I went into second grade. Nine kids is a lot. If you guys want, and if you like to read books, I've got an interesting book for you to read. It's called the Birth Order book. If you want an interesting read and you want to be able to understand other people, because what that book tells you, a lot of it is so true. That's pretty much what I did, Joshua, because remember, I was an only child and I had 4 children. And by the time the youngest one, I was like, whatever, do whatever. I think it's that way in all families that have more than one child. Yeah, I had I guess she would be a second cousin. I don't know how many kids she had. 13, 14, I don't know. It was to the point where the oldest was taking care of the newborns. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, that was what happened back in, that happened frequently in the older days. Like my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, came from a large family. However, my maternal grandmother didn't. There was only 3 in my maternal grandmother's family. There was her, my aunt, and my uncle. So, I don't know. Yeah, it seems to me it feels strange nowadays for people to have larger families. And I'll be quite honest with you, if I was at that age where I could have a child, I probably wouldn't. Not in this time. Yeah, it's too expensive. It's very expensive. I became like that, Joshua, once I became a teenager. I think if my grandfather had not passed away, I probably would not have been like that. But I think without having a father figure in my life from the age of, well, he passed away in April and I just turned 12 in January. So from April, the age of 12 on up, I got out of control. Nikki, I'm one of one. Now, my parents went off split up, divorced, and went and had other children. So I have half siblings. I had a half brother who was 5 years younger than me that passed away last year. And I've got 3 half sisters on my birth father's side. So technically I'm one of one, but if you want to count my half siblings, I'm one of 5. But I'd be the oldest because I'm the original. I'm the OG. They had me and broke the mold. Yeah, my grandfather was 61. He was, let's see, that was on April Fool's Day. And then in June, he would have turned 62 and he was going to take an early retirement. He didn't make it. And the company he worked for that he paid money into a pension for refused to give my grandmother any money of his pension. They refused to give her any of his pension. So she was 10 years younger than him, so she couldn't even draw Social Security. My grandmother, literally, well, my grandfather had a life insurance policy, and my grandmother was good at saving money because, remember, they grew up through the Depression. And she was good at saving money. She paid for his funeral and then saved the rest. She went out and literally would scrub people's floors. And I don't mean with a mop. I mean on her hands and knees with a rag for $15 a day. Now, keep in mind that was 1967. Still wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was money. And she had to walk everywhere she went because she didn't even know how to drive. At the age of 55, my grandmother did not know how to drive. She had to learn. Yeah, my grandmother made clothes as well. Thank you, Joshua. I actually, because my maternal grandparents raised me, I have a tattoo on my right calf in honor of them. Now, my grandfather, he may have, I was 12 when we lost him, but I still learned things. He still taught me things. Things that would make most women nowadays cringe. Probably make some men cringe too. Yeah, my grandmother finally learned to drive. It was like a year or two. It was 2 years after he had passed away. she finally had to learn how to drive because she had a car. She just didn't know how to drive it. My grandfather liked to do small game hunting. Rabbits, squirrels, you know. And he taught me. But you know, when you learn how to hunt for your food, you got to learn how to clean it too. And yeah, he taught me how to do that as well. Oh, wow, Joshua. Oh, I didn't see, Rebecca, I didn't get to know my paternal grandparents, my biological father's parents, until I was 18. That's the same way my grandmother was, Joshua. She eventually, my grandmother, and when we went to church, I was baptized Episcopalian. So eventually she landed a job, a regular, steady job with the Catholic Church. So she'd clean the church and she'd clean the home of the priest. That's awesome, Joshua. That's awesome. Like I was saying, if you like reading and you read the birth order book and you read up on only children and how we are as compared to firstborns, perfectionism is probably one of the keys. Come on. Perfectionism is one of the keys to an only child. It's a key to a firstborn as well. But an only child takes perfectionism one step further. Even though in some ways it doesn't show it, for me, it is perfectionism can be difficult. So what should we talk about next week, guys? What do you want to talk about next week? Let's see, this week you looked at cards. I gave you a little bit of information on some crystals. We can look at a missing person case. And don't forget, if you want to be in on the readings on Saturday, the sign-up video is up. I do read everybody, but I read those that sign up first. Joshua, I put you on the list already. Because I know you're always there. Well, it can be an old case. It doesn't matter to me. Not on camera, no. The Akashic Tarot, no, I have not tried those yet. The ones, Dreams of Gaia, I have off camera. I'm learning still. There's a lot to learn. These are not your typical tarot cards. They're not your typical Rider-Waite knockoffs. These are totally different cards, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to learn them. And there's 2 decks now, so. Plus, I've got to sleep with them. Yeah, I know that sounds fun. What I do is I take the cards and I put them usually in a sock, a cotton sock, and I put it under my pillow. And I sleep with the cards for 3 days to try to do what I can to make a connection with the cards. When I get new cards, this is another important thing. I know Renee had asked about crystals earlier. But with my cards, what I do is when I get them, I open them up and I use sage to cleanse not only the cards, but the book and the box that they're in. I cleanse everything because you don't know what kind of energy is on them when you get them. I mean, I can tell you a story that happened, I'll say within the last 8 months. In regards to demonic energy that had entered my home. Unknowingly. Now, I'm not going to put the person on blast, but there was a person I was following, and it's nobody on YouTube. This is on Facebook. And I got a free prize from this person. So they got my mailing address. I received the article. It was in the mailbox. The mailbox is in the front of the building that where we live at. So Mr. Hart went and picked up the mail. Had the little package in the truck. Mr. Hart walked through the door with the package. And the cabinet over top of my sink, the door flew open and a jar of spaghetti sauce flew out and hit me in the thigh when he walked in with that package. Needless to say, we had issues with our truck. So we got the package out of the house, buried it, And I went through the house with my sage and cleansed, because that was a very, very dark energy that came in. And we try to keep salt around the outside of the house, but sometimes the energy is so strong it can break through that barrier. And that's one time that it did. Yeah, it was strong, Joshua. It was strong. And I was saying earlier, when I was sitting, before he moved my desk on this side of the RV, it was on a Saturday night, I was reading. And as I was looking at the cards down here, up here towards the camera, I could see something dark go flying up like into my camera. And when I was doing the live, I didn't think too much about it. And then afterwards, I realized, no, I didn't get hurt. Although, thank God that spaghetti sauce was in a plastic jar. It was a big jar. I mean, it smacked me in the leg. And yeah, so dark energy is out there. And I should have known better. Because on occasion I go and look at this person's page. This person has a substance abuse problem. And I think I told you before, like Sloan was saying, when people get on this stuff, their soul leaves the body. And that leaves their body open for dark energy to enter. And you can tell it. You can look at this. Okay, I can tell you another person you can look at that's currently on YouTube that has that problem. And it's not Ernie. I haven't noticed it in Ernie, at least not yet. But it is another person. I don't want to speak the name because I don't want it showing up in my chat. And I know y'all know who I'm talking about. If you take the initials, you can make a fast food joint. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to conjure that person up into my chat. Oh, yeah. You got to be very careful. Even drinking alcohol is the same. You got to be careful doing that too. Yes. Exactly, Joshua. Exactly. I mean, I drink my coffee, but I'm sure it was, Nan. I'm sure it was. I just don't want to see that name in my chat. I know I only got 12 people in here, but, I don't need people in here that bad. Because if that person shows up, so will the rest of the haters. And I'm not up for that. That's not my kind of channel. So that person needs to just stay away. Stay away. Thank you, Nan. Excuse you, Mr. Hart. Oh, you must be cold again. What's our temperature now? When I showed it earlier, we were at 3. What are we at now? We're still at 3. 40% chance of light snow. We don't need any more snow. Last night, y'all, it was snowing, and it was a wet snow. I had to go out in it. That's how I know. Because Mr. Hart was mean to me last night. We're down to 3 dogs now because remember on Summer's birthday I lost my oldest. You ain't going to bed yet. You can't. He was being mean to me last night.
What?
What are you standing there for?
Getting my butt warm.
So, yeah, that was the one that coughed all the time that passed on Summer's birthday. Now I have another senior dog that is a little on the overweight side.
Little.
So I'm being nice to her.
She don't know what you're
When
saying.
she goes outside, she needs help getting back in. And she had to go out really bad last night. And Mr. Hart was in bed. And I let her out. And she couldn't get back in. And oh, it was a mess. It was a mess. I thought I had frostbite on my fingers because I ended up putting my boots on and a coat. Yeah, no, I didn't put gloves on. So she's let's see. Trying to see if I have anything. She's a really dark chocolate brown color. Oh, here we go. My coffee cup. She's as dark brown as this coffee cup. When I went out to get her last night, she was so white I almost didn't see her because she was covered in snow and ice. And I brushed her off with my jacket. And I think she's got a little bit of hip problem in the back too. But I think a lot of it's caused by her weight. So I got her up and got her back around to the door. And somehow me and her worked together and I was able to help her get back inside and get thawed out. Because the poor thing was cold. And so was I. My fingers, I swear, got frostbitten. So, guys, let me know. Leave it in the comments section. Think about what you want to talk about next week. If you can come up with, if there's anybody in particular you'd like to talk about. If you want me to do dowsing rods for you or somebody, you know, I can do that like I did for Betty earlier. Good night, Nan. Now I got 14 people in. That's awesome, Sandra. So think about what you guys want to talk about next Wednesday. I'm thinking about maybe going live maybe an hour earlier. So heads up on that. I'm thinking about moving my Wednesday lives to an hour earlier. So I guess we're going to end this for tonight. I hope you guys had fun. I will try to come up with a plan for next Wednesday. And I'll put a video out if I come up with a plan on what we're going to talk about. I think I'm going to start my Wednesday lives an hour earlier, Sandra. So let me know what you want to talk about next week. You know, you can leave it in the comments section or you can send me an email. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe if somebody needs a reading or is interested in me using the dowsing rods, like I did earlier for Betty, I can do that too. All right, guys. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Sandra. All right. I send much love and many blessings to everybody out there. Be safe. Don't forget, sign up for Saturday's live reading, and we will see you on Saturday at the regular time. We'll keep Saturday the regular time, but we'll make Wednesdays an hour earlier. All right. Stay safe. Love everybody. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.